gears a little bit, we talked in the first panel about some of which institutions are leading developments. Let me ask you what's on your dashboard as far as qualities or factors in an institution or a school that would drive you to want to develop something in that area, or in your case, as partners to work with?
I think there's generally a disconnect in the industry in terms of where the capital wants to invest and where the real opportunities are. Capital still is attracted to big, large, brand name schools. For obvious reasons, they have large enrollments. Many of them are growing. But that's also where most of the competition is focused. So you talk about bubbles in the earlier panel, and at an institution like University of Georgia or University of Florida, you tend to see lots and lots of supply come online at once, and ultimately it gets worked through, and all those projects become successful. But from our perspective, we think there's far more opportunity at secondary and tertiary schools, similar to what Cecil was mentioning. The challenge is getting the capital to invest in those schools because they're not familiar with the University of West Georgia. And so, convincing a large institutional equity player or even, banks to invest or lend capital at institutions that aren't as well known is more challenging. So I think as an industry, I think we're going to see that everyone gets more comfortable with the secondary and tertiary schools, and that more and more development will take place at those schools. Because, Cecil's kind of right, the carrying capacity at those large schools is, at some point, it reaches its maximum.
Okay, well, talking about our own backyard in Georgia versus some other states, I mean, how does Atlanta or the state of Georgia really stack up against, say, other markets in the Southeast, and what are some of our advantages or constraints that we're dealing with here?
In general, Georgia's viewed fairly favorably in terms of the success stories we have had. Kennesaw State's growth, Valdosta State, University of West Georgia, Clayton State, Southern Poly, all these schools are very rapidly growing, and I think that creates a lot of opportunity here internally. I think what concerns us as we look at Georgia schools is where we are with respect to the Hope Scholarship and what happens to that in the future. We have seen increasingly that schools in Mississippi, schools in Alabama, schools in South Carolina are taking more and more Georgia-based high school students because of the qualification standards for the Hope Scholarship and the options that are available to students. And so I think there's a question mark, if you will, around the future of that program and what that impact will have on all of the schools, whether they're primary, tertiary, what have you.